You are the main character of your life story. I remember it like it was yesterday, because it was. I decided to try treating my life like I was the main character inside of a movie. Recently, I was feeling like I was stuck in a rut, this loop that I can't get out of. I think I said yes to too many things. Now I feel like my life is living me and I'm not really living my life, and everything I do is consumed around work and the future and commitments, and I have very little time to actually be present and enjoy my life. And then the times where I'm not working, I am distracted. I'm on my phone, I'm wasting time. I just know I could be doing so much more. And then at one point I heard this idea, it's probably like when I was on my phone one of those times. The idea was like, how would you live your life differently if a film crew was following you around 24/7? What would you do differently? Would you work harder? Would you spend more present time with your family? Would you stop the bad habits, the watching hours of television? What would you do if your life was literally being broadcasted to the world? I think for me, more importantly, what would I not do? So while my life is, I would say, extremely boring and average, I decided to give it a shot. I'm on a journey right now to be a lot more present this year and to really try to live a life by design and not by default. For the first day, I'm just gonna observe myself and then hopefully set up some rules that'll help me live a slower, more intentional life. And I don't wanna get this confused with main character syndrome, where you see yourself as a main character and everybody else as a side character in your life, but simply getting external accountability for your life and seeing how you would be different when you zoom out and see your life from someone else's perspective. For the first day, I really just mostly observed myself, and I kind of wrote down some rules that I want to follow throughout the rest of the week. The first thing is I'm going to try to bring this book around with me instead of having my phone with me all the time, because I realized that as I'm walking up the stairs, as I'm just sitting, I'm constantly pulling out my phone. And if I just think of myself from the outside, I'm walking around staring at something instead of looking at what's around me. So that just seems kind of crazy. But I think the reason I use my phone so often is because I think I need to write something down, or I have a thought and I don't want to forget it. And that's why I'm going to bring this book with me. I've also been thinking about what my story arc is. Like, where in the story am I right now? Because I think a lot of us want to be at the happy ending of the story, but we don't realize we're currently in the training montage. We're going through, the difficult part that we will come out on the other end of. So I think I've kind of realized that is where I am right now. I'm in the training montage of things are crazy, things are rough. I have 2 kids under 2 right now, trying to slow down and live my life a little bit more. So I think looking from an outside perspective and really framing things will really be helpful for me. If you're a YouTuber and you're in this training montage right now, I wanted to let you know that I'm opening up the second round of my cohort for the 5-hour YouTuber. Not only am I sharing everything about how I make high quality videos in not a lot of time and how to monetize and actually make money on YouTube, but I am directly involved with every single person who joins. You can DM me anytime, hours and hours of live streams where you can ask me any questions that you want. And I'm really trying to make this course really different by giving you almost unlimited access to somebody who's actually done it and made a career out of this for years. So there's a link down below. I think it's the best course on YouTube, so feel free to check it out. And then the last thing that I realized is that I have not been paying attention to the sound of the birds, of coffee, of walking outside. So that is something I need to work into my life more, is actually taking time to be more present, not constantly having a YouTube video or a podcast or a book or anything going on, but actually being present and listening to the things around me, like the birds right now. So that's my goal for the next couple days. Well, we gotta come this way, kid. Over here. I'm getting my camera.
Why did you cheese?
You want to say cheese? I realized today that a lot of the life that I think that I am living is not actually life. Most of it revolves around a screen, consuming other people's lives, other people's thoughts, other people's words written down on paper, and very little of my time is spent outside living. And when you go through something like, being 180 degrees in a sauna, or being, whatever it is in here, 30 degrees in a cold tub, you realize that going through something that hard really makes me present and realize that This is real life. Outdoors, spending time with family, exercising, creating, that's real life. Me procrastinating and overthinking what I'm gonna do next when it comes to, my work or binge watching another episode of a show, that is burning my life. That doesn't make it into the cut of the movie because that's not living. It's not wanting the life that you have. It's wanting that life to go by without you having to be present and observing it. And even today, that's what I've been doing. The heck is that? I was reading this book called Storyworthy, and in it there's this idea called homework for life that I have really been trying to implement into my life over the last couple days. It's just this idea of looking for the story at the end of every day, looking back over the day and asking what was one 5-second moment in time, what was one story to tell about today. And that has allowed me to, kind of look back at my life a little bit and remember it more. And something I'm trying to do with video as well is just actually finding seconds in time that I want to remember and recording them or writing them down. When I look back at footage, of me years ago, it becomes more and more special. But I also realized how much of it I missed, how many of those moments that you're like, I want to remember this forever, and then you forget it. A lot of times, 90% of the footage, 90% of the stuff you write down is going to be garbage, but there's those few things that I think will really mean a lot to me. That's something I'm really trying to incorporate into the rest of this week and going forward. Over the course of the following week, I realized a few things about myself. One of them is that my life is not super movie worthy. Just because I film some stuff and it looks cool doesn't mean that my life is filled with excitement or always beautiful. A lot of crap happens, and this wasn't like an instant cure-all. But this really did allow me to see myself kind of from another person's perspective. Kind of like when your friend asks for advice and you can give them great advice, but you can't follow it yourself. Taking a step back and watching my life as I document it and thinking about how I'm going to document my life has actually kind of given me some clarity on different things that I was doing. It's kind of like self-therapy or like an intense goal setting session because it forces me to take a step back and get out of my head a little bit. It also has just really been helping me notice the beauty in the little things. And I feel like for me at least, I've really missed that over the last couple months, especially being inside a lot of the winter. I feel like I got a little bit of seasonal depression and I really just missed the beauty that is the outdoors, that is sunshine. Over this next year, I'm really gonna try to put this into play and document my life a lot more. Of course, I'm gonna stick with my weekly videos. I feel like these type of videos make me a better person because they're a little bit more introspective and they really force me to see the things I don't wanna see about myself. And hopefully as I go through this journey of trying to find more calm, trying to find the antidote to chaos in my life, I'll be able to share some of the lessons that I learned with you guys. So, I don't know. On one hand, it's scary to put this type of stuff out there in the world, but on the other hand, every good thing that's ever happened to me has come from pushing through the hard stuff, the scary stuff. So I'm gonna try. I personally loved making this video. If you enjoyed it and you're a creator, then I did make a 7-day free YouTube course. You can check it out with the link down below. It's got some really cool stuff in there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.